What if I told you that a single cup of coffee a day, just one, is worth more than most people's entire retirement plan? Not because of the caffeine, because of what happens when you skip it. Put that $4 into an investment account and let time do something genuinely strange to money. We're going to talk about $100 a month today. That's it. $100 a month invested consistently over time. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why that number, as small as it sounds, is capable of doing something that will honestly feel a little bit unreasonable. Stay with me. You've probably heard the phrase compound interest before. Maybe a teacher mentioned it once. Maybe a parent told you to save early. Maybe you nodded along in a conversation and quietly moved on. Because nobody ever actually showed you what it looks like in real life. That's what today's about. Compound interest is one of those concepts that sounds simple, almost too simple, until you actually run the numbers. And then something shifts. Because the math isn't scary, the math is actually exciting. Here's the basic idea before we go any further. When you invest money, you earn a return on it. But here's the part that changes everything. Over time, you also earn returns on your returns. Your growth starts growing. It's not a straight line moving upward. It's a curve, slow at first, almost invisible, and then it bends sharply, like a snowball rolling down a hill that starts small and picks up size faster and faster the longer it rolls. That's compounding, and it doesn't require you to be rich. It doesn't require a finance degree. It just requires time and consistency. Let's look at what that actually means. Let's take $100 a month. That's what we're working with. $100 deposited into a broad market index fund, something that tracks the 500 biggest companies in the United States, every single month without fail. Now, the historical average annual return of the S&P 500, the index that tracks those 500 companies, has been roughly 10% per year over the long term, going back to 1926, according to data from multiple financial institutions, including Fidelity. We're going to use that number, 10%. Keep in mind, this is a historical average, not a guarantee. In any given year, markets go up and markets go down. But over long stretches of time, decades, the pattern has been consistent. So, what happens to your $100 a month at 10% annually? After 5 years, you've put in $6,000 of your own money, but your account isn't worth $6,000. It's worth approximately $7,700. You've earned over $1,700 in growth on contributions you've already made. That's fine, right? Not life-changing. But watch what happens next. At 10 years, you've contributed $12,000 total. Your account has grown to roughly $20,500. You've made over $8,000 in growth. More than half of your additional gains are now coming from returns compounding on top of other returns, not just from the money you put in. At 20 years, you've put in $24,000. But your account is sitting at approximately $76,000. You've tripled your money and then some. More than $50,000 of that total was never a dollar that came out of your pocket. It was created by time. And now, 30 years, you've contributed $36,000 of your own money over 30 years, 360 deposits of $100 each. Your account? Approximately $226,000. Read that again. You put in $36,000. You ended up with $226,000. That means about $190,000, more than 5 times your actual contributions, came from compounding alone. That's not a trick. That's not an exaggeration. That's just what time does to money when you let it work. So here's the obvious question. If the math is this clear, if $100 a month can do this, why aren't more people doing it? It's not because people are bad with money. It's not because they don't care about their future. The real reasons are a lot more human than that. The first one is present bias. Our brains are wired to feel things that are happening right now much more intensely than things that are happening later. $100 today is real. It's groceries, it's a bill you can cover, it's a dinner out that makes you feel like a normal person living a normal life. $200,000 in 30 years feels abstract, almost fictional. Your brain genuinely doesn't register future rewards the same way it registers present ones. This isn't a flaw in your character. It's a feature of how human cognition evolved. The second reason is the feeling that $100 isn't enough. Most people imagine that investing is something you do when you have real money, serious money. I'll start when I make more. I'll start when I pay off my debt. I'll start when things settle down. But here's the thing. Things rarely settle down in a straight line. And every single month of waiting has a cost that we'll get to in just a moment. The third reason, and this one is worth sitting with, is that for a lot of people, $100 a month genuinely feels impossible. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you've got medical bills, if you're supporting a family on an income that doesn't stretch far enough, $100 can feel like a fantasy. That's real, and it deserves to be said directly. If that's your situation, this video isn't here to make you feel guilty. It's here to make you feel informed, because the principle works at $50 a month. It works at $25. The number that matters most isn't how much, it's how long. And that brings us to the most important part of this entire video. Let me introduce you to two people. We'll call them Alex and Jordan. They're the same age, both 22 years old, just starting out. Same income, same goals, same basic financial situation. Alex starts investing $100 a month at 22. Alex does this consistently for 40 years, until retirement at 62. Jordan decides to wait. Life gets busy, there's a move, a relationship, student loans, a new job. By 32, Jordan finally feels ready. Jordan also invests $100 a month. Same fund, same return, and does so consistently until retirement at 62. That's 30 years of contributions instead of 40, just one decade of difference. Now let's look at what happens. At 62, Alex has a portfolio worth approximately $800,000. Jordan, who started just 10 years later, with the same monthly amount, in the same mark, has approximately $260,000, the same $100 a month, 10 fewer years of compounding, a difference of more than $500,000. Let that breathe for a second. Jordan didn't do anything wrong. Jordan saved consistently for 30 years. Jordan was responsible. But that one decade of waiting, that period between 22 and 32, cost more than $500,000. Here's why that gap is so enormous. The money you put in early doesn't just grow for those early years. It grows for every year after that too. $100 you invest at 22 has 40 years to compound. $100 you invest at 32 has only 30 years. That's not a 10-year difference in growth. That 10-year head start means your early contributions get to double, and then double again before Jordan's earliest investment even hits its first doubling. Using the rule of 72, a quick mental math shortcut where you divide 72 by your annual return rate, money invested at 10% doubles approximately every 7 years. 40 years gives your earliest dollar roughly 5 or 6 doublings. 30 years gives it 4. The difference in those extra doublings is where the gap is born. This is why financial educators say time is the most powerful variable in investing. Not the amount, not the specific fund, not the exact return. Time, you can't buy more of it. You can't earn it back. And every year that passes without starting is a year that won't compound. Let's come back to where we started. $100 a month. It sounds small. It is small in the present tense, but in the future tense, in the tense where time has been doing its quiet, relentless work for decade after decade, $100 a month invested consistently at a historical average return becomes $226,000 over 30 years. Started at 22, it can become $800,000 over 40 years. The math is wild, and you've now seen exactly why. Here's the one thing I want you to do today. Not next week, not when your next raise comes in. Today. Open a brokerage account or a Roth IRA if you're in the United States, and set up a recurring automatic transfer of whatever amount you can actually commit to. Maybe it's $100, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 10. The number is not the point. The point is starting, because every single month you wait is a month that won't compound. And the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. If this video helped something click for you, I'd genuinely love for you to hit the subscribe button. This channel exists to make finance feel like something that belongs to you, not just to people who already have money. There's a lot more where this came from.